What do you think is about to happen? This is my comments tree. When people leave comments, often they pop up here. It's time to find out what's going on today in the world. After all, what would I talk about here on my channel focused on hair loss if it weren't for people leaving comments? So, let's get to work. I made a video a while back called Receding Hairline, Check Out My Hair Loss. And I, in front of a mirror, showed you the thinning and all that good stuff. Well, my friend Carol Gadsden has this to say, which, by the way, I'm from Fort Payne, Alabama. That's where I grew up and was born and raised. One of the towns just down the road there is Gadsden, Alabama. So when we wanted to go to the mall, that was the closest mall, Gadsden. But Carol Gadsden says this, quote, "Bro," there's 3 O's there, "Bro, why don't you just go get a hair transplant? Some of these people are really happy and you look like a perfect candidate for it. Wouldn't it be easier than thinking about it all the time?" End quote. So thank you, Carol, for that comment. I appreciate your concern there. What I want to do a minute into this video is just to show my hairline again, to show my hair loss. For anyone who typed into YouTube, you know, what it means to be a good candidate for a hair transplant. And by the way, this is not the first time I've heard this. I've had a couple people now over the past couple months leave this as a comment. So I'm just trying to get the lighting to look good and not blend in with the background there, with my brown hair there. But let's see. So as you look, there is thinning there as we push the hair back, which the length helps with that. We've got the back there, which it appears to be thinning. I mean, it appears to be almost like a baby bald spot, but honestly, it's thinner all on top. So because of the nature of the physics of the round part of my head, that's naturally going to look thinner. But I don't know that it necessarily is. I think, if anything, it's consistently thin on top. Earlier this week I did a video showing where I said my hair is actually thinner than you think, or something like that. So if you haven't looked at that, check it out. But in addition to the thinness going on, my hairline goes up this far. So that's how my hairline looks. Of course, I don't have a hairstyle that shows that all the time, but that's actually what's going on with my hair. But I have a hairstyle that downplays it and doesn't make it obvious. So this person, as other people have said, that I am a good candidate for a hair transplant. So if you're thinking you might be a candidate, watch this video and find out if your hair looks like mine. Now, yeah, I've lost a lot of hair right there, you know, in the front there. But I compare myself to Joel McHale right now. If you didn't know this, he definitely had a hair transplant, and you can just Google image that if you want or whatever and see the comparison. His hair transplant looks great, and apparently it's really helping his career. He's got a. I remember when he first started as a host on the Soup, I thought, man, this guy's got a career ahead of him, and it's going to go well past this show. And I was right. And so when he got his first show, Community, I thought, yep, that's exactly what I was expecting out of Joe McHale. But I just saw him recently on Jimmy Kimmel, and I thought, okay, that's what a good hair transplant looks like. Now, just to remind you, I'm not against hair transplants. When I was in my early 20s, when I first started noticing my hairline receding, that was what I was going to do. I imagine myself as a man in his early 30s, married with 2 kids, and thought, I'll be the guy that isn't losing his hair because I'm just going to get a hair transplant before that happens. But I have more hair than I thought I would at this age, but to be honest with you, by the time I got to my late 20s, I stopped caring anyway. Just because I personally I felt it was a conflict against my own beliefs at that point. Just because I thought, man, if I have to have a hair transplant to be happy, then I don't like that version of happiness. Now, that's just a personal belief, but that's a personal belief. That has nothing to do with you, just like with me being a vegan. I don't need you to become a vegan. I'm not here to force my will upon you or the way I think. You know, this is a collaboration, and that's why I think one of the reasons people like me is that I'm not here to force my beliefs. I have my beliefs, and I'll tell you, but I want you to do what's right for you. So we're going to talk about hair transplants just a little bit in this video now that I've showed you how I'm apparently a good candidate for a hair transplant. But obviously, I've still got a lot of, even though there's definitely thinning, I've still got a lot to work with up here. So apparently, with the hair transplant, they would help fill this in. Apparently, You know, the thing I noticed though too, here more recently, I made a video about it, is this. You know, it's not just about this, but it's also about this. So fortunately, I've got enough length to cover that up on there. But I'm not completely bald, but with a good hair transplant, they could get that taken care of. You know, I guess I do want to point my doubts about getting a receding hairline, because again, I already decided I don't want one, even though I'm a good candidate. But even aside from the money part of it, and even aside from the fact that I don't want one, I honestly don't. But then there's the part that obviously as this goes away, then it's going to just I'm still going to keep losing hair. So I don't like the idea of having to keep going back and getting it done. I don't like that idea. If I was going to do it, I just want to be done with it. I don't want to have to go back every 5 years or whatever. And I don't want to have a lifetime commitment of getting hair transplants. That just seems too involved, and I don't like the cost of it. And again, it's fundamentally against, you know, what I believe personally about me being confident in myself despite my, you know, my hair. So, and then of course my other doubt too is just that they've got to take that hair from somewhere. So if they're taking it from the back here or whatever, then, you know, does that mean I can't have a shaved head again? Because ultimately, having a shaved head is cool. Or a buzz cut when you're losing it, it's cool. And I wouldn't want a scar. So I've just named several reasons why I wouldn't get one. But at the same time, I'm telling you, if that's something you're interested in, these are just things to think out loud about. And if I'm wrong about any of these, then please correct me in the comments, because I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm here to just carry on that conversation, and then you finish the conversation in the comments, which leads to me making more videos. In closing though, I do feel it's important to address some of the things that our friend Carol Gadsden had mentioned kind of in closing, when he said, referring to a hair transplant, he said, he or she, I mean, I can't know for sure, but for the fact they said bro, it makes me think this is a male, I'm not sure, but either way, it said, wouldn't it be easier than thinking about it all the time? So wouldn't it be easier just to get a hair transplant instead of thinking about my hair loss all the time? Now, this indicates that Carol is new to my channel here, because this is something I address quite regularly. I've addressed actually, I think in one of yesterday's videos. People will say something to this effect: man, you need to get over this. You're obsessed with your hair loss. Now, for those of you who have been with me for a while, and we're gonna let this truck pass, because remember, I don't edit my videos. I keep it raw and real and unscripted. But there we go, there's the truck. And unlike yesterday, it didn't almost hit me, but that one yesterday almost hit me. All right, so as far as why it may seem that I'm obsessed, those of you who've been here a while, you know how it works. That this is a business. I make currently about $44 a month off of this channel. And it's growing. And now I've got over 900 subscribers. Why? Because I know my audience and I know what they're looking for. Okay? So, in essence, I'm paid to think about hair loss. Right? That's the way it works. Is that interesting? I don't think so. In essence, I'm being paid to think about hair loss. So I'm always coming up with new topic ideas that are about hair loss, because I know that the free market will get to me by me talking about it. So, it's almost like I am a character actor, or a method actor is what I should say. You know, I don't have to talk about hair loss. We could talk about purple dolphins. If I could talk about purple dolphins every single day and do 2 or 3 videos a day, if it brought the subscribership that I'm seeing, I'd talk about it. I mean, I could talk about even more interesting things. I could talk about what it's like to be 5'9", how you're not tall or short. I could talk about all kinds of things that I even know that I'm actually an expert on. And those weren't good examples that I just named. But right now, people are listening to me talk about hair loss. So that's why it may seem like I'm thinking about it all the time. It's because my subscribership has yet to dip since a year ago, as I keep talking about this. And of course, remember, you're feeding the fire by leaving comments. When you leave a comment, it means I make another video, which is a relevant topic to other people. So you're helping me out there, which leads to more comments and more videos. So that's why it may seem like I'm thinking about my hair loss all the time. I guess I kind of am, because I always need to make sure I have new fun topics that people will leave comments on, and that we can have this conversation where it's not me telling you what to do, but instead we're having a discussion as men who are emotionally intelligent and are experiencing hair loss. Thanks for watching my channel.